Ooh, look at this hoodie. Relentless effort. My battery's dead. First off, shout out to Jasper. Gary V posted a picture with the Relentless Effort hoodie. It's been some posts about it. I'm just super happy for him, so shout out to him. These hoodies are super clean, and I guess Gary V agrees. Recently, Logan Paul had sparred Borachima, UFC middleweight. Now, the clip that went around and went viral was him claiming that he got knocked out by Borachima. Clearly, Logan titled the video that way. I thought it was like a parody. I just thought he was kind of obviously clickbaiting it. I didn't really think it was serious, and then I saw ESPN posted it and some other places posted it. So then I was like, wait, are people actually thinking he got knocked out? Maybe I looked at it differently, so I went back and looked at it again. And I was like, I'm pretty sure he didn't get knocked out. Because clearly they weren't sparring hard, and clearly their teams are connected. So real quick, let's just break down the knockout claim. I mean, when you hit somebody, typically, if you want to tell it's real, you can feel it. Like when you're watching it, you can tell somebody's been hit really hard. It's usually quite obvious, right? You get that when someone falls and hurts himself, like you get that cringe feeling. You can hear the sound, and then Logan right after kind of was like awake, you know, it looked like he was faking it at least. Because if he got knocked out to the point where he went limp, it might have taken a little bit longer for him to get up. And I think Paulo would have responded a little bit more nicely than just walking off after he knocked him out. I'm pretty sure he would have been like, oh, my bad, bro. Like I didn't mean to actually knock you out. But props to Logan for getting on ESPN. But it doesn't mean they weren't actually sparring. When you watch their sparring, they were clearly doing some boxing sparring. They weren't going super hard, but they were still tagging each other. I'm telling you, this thing with Logan and MMA is a lot more real than some of you may think. I talked about it a few years ago in a video that I believe that he will fight in the UFC one day. Not necessarily as a UFC fighter and fight for like a top tier rank or anything like that. But come on now, I don't think any of you thought that Logan and JJ will be fighting on DAZN as pro fighters either. So in that sense, I think it's very possible. He makes a lot more sense than CM Punk. The cool thing to see here was that it was showing that Logan wasn't getting absolutely destroyed. Again, Paulo's obviously working with him and not going like super hard. And again, in MMA, it's tricky because Paulo was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He does obviously Muay Thai and kickboxing, so you're not working with the pure boxer and they're doing boxing things. So it's just tricky when you have somebody training in a certain rule set and somebody else training in a different rule set. I don't know, just the way that the striking ends up happening is a little bit awkward. Now, the thing I was really looking forward to see was I heard they did some grappling. Because as you know, Logan is a well-decorated high school wrestler. Borachima is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and clearly can wrestle and grapple at the highest level. I mean, I really haven't seen anything from Logan in terms of his wrestling at all. I mean, this would be the first time. I'm not sure if there's content just around or, you know, in old vlogs or something like that, but this would be the first content of seeing him wrestle, and especially wrestling with someone who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu who is a top tier professional fighter in MMA. To me, this clearly shows that he has the right base, and he can definitely make the climb to doing a professional MMA fight. Wrestling is such a big part of MMA. It's such a big part of the sport. So when he's trained so long in it, it's like you want to be a boxer and you have all this training you did for years in high school and you competed. It just, that experience goes a long way. And then you add in the kickboxing and the fancy karate moves and all that stuff. You can add it on top, and that makes you a dangerous, well-rounded fighter. The submission game is going to come super easy to him because of his experience in grappling. So now the only thing would be for him to learn how to kick, and the thing is he's super flexible. He's actually more flexible than me, so he has some dexterity that I don't have, so it's actually possible for him to do kicks that I can't even do, if that makes sense, right? There's kicks that I know how to do, but I can't do in certain ranges, in certain areas, because I don't have the dexterity for it. So, and when you have flexibility and dexterity, it's actually easier for you to learn the kicks. Your ceiling is higher and your like growth rate is a lot faster because you don't have to fix any of these impingements or like tightness or something like that. He can just pick it up and comfortably flow in between the motion and not have any issues in terms of his motion, right? He's gonna be very coordinated there. So kicking wise, he can grow very fast. Because the thing is, a lot of the guys who are in MMA and compete at a high level have a similar background to Logan, right? Competed at a high level in high school or in college. They were very good wrestlers and they used that base to go into other martial arts and use that in their MMA training as a base. Clearly he's trying to take him down and it is not easy. You can tell Paul's having a hard time dealing with Logan. He's scrambling. He's obviously, it'd be nice to see Logan go up and wrestle and roll with somebody at that level who's in similar weight to him right now too, because that makes a big difference. You know, when somebody's on top of you and they're 240 pounds, they've got 50 pounds weight difference. Weight difference has, I think, a much bigger impact when it comes to grappling and MMA than it does to just in pure striking, because you can get away with the skill. Obviously, when shots land, it makes a big difference. But in grappling, the clinch happens so often, and just leaning the weight and just leverage and picking somebody up or defending a shot or sprawling, every pound matters. So that makes a huge difference in terms of grappling. So I thought Logan did very well to be able to roll with Paulo, someone that, you know, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, very strong. Logan did say he wants to do one fight. If he's gonna do one fight, it has to be for the UFC. I mean, he can do it some other way, but I feel like the UFC would just make the most sense in how big he is. I mean, if like anyone on that level, even if KSI, someone wanted to do something like that, there's no other content creator, or I'm trying to think, even like a movie star or someone at that level who has a better base than Logan. He's literally fought a professional boxing fight, again, against another raw boxer in terms of some people who are new at it, JJ and Logan, a similar trajectory, but then also the high school wrestling background makes a big difference. Now, what's going on with me? And speaking of MMA, I know you guys are talking about or wondering me and Logan would be fighting in MMA. I personally think Josh Bruckner versus Logan would be, I would like to see that fight. I'm not sure if it makes sense for the community. I'm not sure if Logan, right, he's looking for, I'm not sure if he's looking for like an Antonio Brown type person to fight, or if he's just looking to have a fight and then, you know, whoever the opponent is. Like CM Punk, he was the main star, like he pulled the fight and then he just had an opponent. Josh Bruckner isn't just anybody, he also is a content creator. And obviously there's me. The big thing here is the weight difference. I mean, there's no way I could make 185, especially in MMA. I mean, in kickboxing, I've signed up for stuff and fought at 180 is the biggest I've ever fought at. Obviously the YouTube match, which the amateur boxing match with Overflow, we were bigger up into like the 190, but that was nowhere near like fight weight. PJ's a bigger dude, he walks around like 200 plus pounds, so I told him I'd get as heavy as I can just so we can meet at a similar weight. I mean, I could fight at 155 if I really cut down, probably even a 145. That would be like my weight class in terms of my build. You know, when I am like weighing right now like 180 pounds, I feel like kind of heavy. So it's 180, 185 for me is like when I feel heavy. When I cut down to like regular body weight, walking around weight 175 is normal. So if my walk around weight is 175, I should be fighting at 155, 145. But cutting weight is nothing I ever want to do because I absolutely hate it. But then the other part of me is like, well, if they offered you a lot of money and it'd be a crazy event and it'd be a part of history, would I do it? I mean, obviously I would look at it, of course. Me and Logan have talked about doing some sparring, so I definitely want to make that happen. I think it's just something that I'm interested in myself to see, and I want to do some wrestling. I would love to roll with him and grapple with him and learn from him wrestling, and then share some of my kicks and my techniques there, and then his boxing, etc. So I think there's just a lot of content around there besides the whole professional MMA fight. To be completely honest, like Logan is super excited about MMA right now, and he wants to have one fight, right? I've done a few fights. I don't really have any desire to compete right now. I don't have a desire to become a professional fighter in any martial art, whether MMA, boxing, or kickboxing. I don't want to become a champion. I love what I'm doing with the dojo. I love my channel. I love what I'm doing. I know I'm not training at full-time as a fighter, so I have to change my entire lifestyle from the dojo in order to be able to become a full-time professional fighter, to dedicate that. And I just don't have the desire to do that right now. Again, if the opportunity was big enough, then I would look at it and then I could weigh it and then decide whether it's something that I want to do or not. But that will not stop me from training or sparring. And I have some news. I'm supposed to be training with a UFC fighter this weekend. Barring any corona quarantine of anywhere in the United States, I'm still gonna make that happen. So I'm actually super excited about that. This is a bucket list experience. I don't even want to tell you guys yet. I might have already even talked about it in a previous video, but it's supposed to be happening this weekend. I'm more excited about this than a lot of the content I've done recently. This is, again, bucket list check off. I'm super excited. Like, if this wasn't even a video, I would be just as excited. And also, I'm 1-0 right now as a corner man. I cornered for the first time professional fight for T-Bone Terrence. He had a professional MMA fight for the belt and a local organization here for Premier. Finished rear naked choke in the second round. I had nothing to do with his grappling ability, so. But I was there, some moral support and some guidance there. So it was me, coach, and Isaiah Williams, another high-level wrestler. So I love that experience. I'm looking forward to coaching and seeing what I can do to be more involved in fighters' camps and training. I absolutely love that part of it. So that motivates me a lot, and I enjoy that part of it more than I do the competing aspect. Thank you for watching. You're gonna see me again very soon. Leave a like and subscribe. Oos.
You good?
In a world where sidekicks don't work and karate is for children, 3 martial arts senseis team up for what will be the biggest karate collab in the entirety of the internet, including FaZe Sensei, Steven Wonderboy Thompson, and then yeah, I showed up too.
I can't help but feel like somebody's doing an amazing karate video without me. Nah, it's probably just my low blood sugar.
What's up, everybody? Let's get this started. FaZe Sensei and I round